Hey dreamers, this is Jade and I'm here to finally do my June 2022 flip through. I know I am ridiculously late, but I am behind. And so yeah, I finally reached August. But anyway, moving on, we are going to get into June. So let's go ahead and get started. This is just the cover page and this is very, very blank and stark. So I definitely need to put a sticker or something over here. Anywho, my first entry is for the 2nd of June, which was when I watched Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. I personally enjoyed the movie. I've heard some utterings and mutterings, but I don't care. If I like it, I like it, and that's just it. And actually, I liked it so much that I ended up going back and re-binging all of the other 2 movies that were before this one. So Fantastic Beasts, and then what was the something about Grindelwald was the second one. And I just love the atmosphere of Fantastic Beasts. I love the characters. Newt is my favorite. He is so sweet and so kind, but he's also a very, very powerful witch. Love that combination. So yeah, really enjoyed the Fantastic Beasts. And moving on to the 3rd, my nephew had a spring band concert. So this is something he had recently picked up. I didn't realize. I think it was back in January of this year. He started in the band and he absolutely loves it, guys. He's percussions, so he ended up playing like 4 different instruments in this band concert. The marimba, I know he was on the drums, I think one was the triangle, and there was something else that I can't remember, but he has found something that he really, really, really enjoys, like to the point where he is 12. Well, was 12 when this was happening. He'll be 13 soon. I cannot believe it. Mine is blown. But anyway, he is sending me videos of him transcribing band performances, college band I'm like, what does that even mean? But he's so smart and so intelligent, and he's found something he's so passionate about. So I'm very, very happy about that. And we actually just went to his winter band concert and he did a phenomenal job. So anyway, that was fun and interesting to see him up there doing something that he really loves. And that was the 3rd. And this has no particular date on it because, again, I had been watching Fantastic Beasts and I just really love the atmosphere that it creates, Fantastic Beasts. And it reminds me, of course, so much of Harry Potter. So after binging all of the movies for Fantastic Beasts, I did a re-binge of Harry Potter, and I would just watch 1 movie per night. That's why it doesn't have a particular date on it. And so this was just to record that happening and me doing my whole Harry Potter thing again. And here I just did one of my favorite quotes from the movies, and it was the last movie, if I'm not mistaken, and Harry is at Cross Station, I can't remember the name of it, whatever, where they think he's died or whatever. And he asked Dumbledore if this was all happening in his head. And Dumbledore answers, of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. But why on earth should that mean that it is not real? Perfect. Just because it's happening in your head does not mean it's not real. It's real. What's happening in your head is real. But anyway, moving on, just wanted to get that recorded. And I want to shout out my friend Alma at Singtang Mayumi, because I did use some of the Harry Potter stickers that you sent me earlier in the year, and I love them, so thank you so much. Moving on to the 16th, my sister and pup niece came to visit, so it was very, very fun having them home. Look at her, and she's so cute, she's adorable. And they're actually home right now for the Christmas season. Yes, I'm doing June and it's almost Christmas. So anyway, so it was fun to have them home. I've been playing on my Animal Crossing town island and decorating and getting that together. And I was finishing up Peaky Blinders. I absolutely love that show. And it didn't, while I enjoyed the season, it had not ended quite the way I was expecting. And I was like, I don't know about this ending, because it's supposed to be the last season. And then I found out that they are supposed to be doing a 2-hour movie. So I was like, okay, all right, acceptable. I'll accept that. So yeah, so that's pretty much what was going on the 16th. On the 20th, I decided I wanted this year to do a little gardening and do some plants. I used to help my grandparents used to have this huge garden down this path on this land they had in their backyard. Well, it wasn't the backyard, it was just like another piece of land that they had, and it was a big garden. I used to love to go out with them in the morning and help them with the garden, and the morning glories would be out. But anyway, I decided I wanted to have a little plants. I had really gotten out of it as an adult and as I got older. And so we got a few plants, tomato, some herbs, peppers, and I got a lemon tree, which I was excited about because, guys, I found out that the reason why the pollen is so bad and ridiculous during the summer is because everybody has uprooted all the female trees, which is basically the trees that bear fruit. So lemons, apples, oranges, yada, yada, yada. And they planted male trees instead because people are evil. Basically, they don't want destitute people having free food where they can just go into the forest or on the sidewalk or wherever and pick an apple and get something to eat. So I think we need to secretly start planting female trees all around the place so people can eat, and we can combat some of this pollen that has gotten out of control and ridiculous because there are no freaking female trees. But anyway, I'm gonna stop my rant right there. So that was fun, getting that all together and getting it planted and potted and all of that kind of stuff. And then on the 22nd was when I had started reading The Artist's Way, and I did my first set of morning pages. And also when I decided to start, because of the whole panorama and everything, I've been basically inside, and I was not happy with my complexion. When I'm, during the summer, I'm usually out and about and stuff like that. And I haven't been able to do that the last couple of years, really. And I'm, again, not happy with my complexion. So I wanted to get out. I started going outside to read 30 minutes a day. And I would slather myself in oil so I could get brown. And it was working, and it was beautiful, and it was lovely. But now it's winter time, and I'm back in the house again. But anyway, so yeah. So that's basically what I was doing here. This is when I started going out and reading in the sun for about 30 minutes a day just so I could get some color, and when I started my morning pages. Next, the 23rd, y'all, this was a whole, to quote one of my favorite YouTubers, boondoggle. Omarion versus Mario. I have always been a Mario fan since he came out. I mean, the boy could sing. I loved his first CD. I played that thing out when it came out and got his follow-up CDs or whatever. I like Omarion, but I was never I think I have one B2K album, but I don't think I've ever bought an entire Omarion album. And if I have, it was one, and probably the first one, the one with O and Touch on it. But anyway, Omarion's cool. I like his music here and there, but Mario, I was a stan. And yeah, basically, he proved why I was a stan, okay? Because this whole thing was a mess. I didn't even watch the pre-show, which I saw all the memes and stuff, and I was laughing my ass off with the whole Ray J and whoever else was there, and the Sammy. It was a mess. But these two, I think the battle was won within the first two songs. I was like, oh, Marion, hang it up, babe. All of the little stunts and stuff he pulled, it was for nothing, okay? It was a mess. His voice sounded terrible. I'm sorry, Omarion. It just no. Whereas Mario, I enjoyed the Mario concert, okay? That's what I was there for. Because Omarion just did not deliver. And then he had all these shenanigans with a watermelon, and then he's down on the floor humping the mic. I was like, what is happening here? But anyway, if you have not seen it, look it up. Just don't look up the highlights. Or the low lights, I should say. But anyway, Mario was a clear winner. On the 24th, basically I was out for one of my walks, and I caught the sunset, and it was gorgeous and beautiful. So I took plenty of pictures, and that's just basically what's going on here on this page. I had to get that recorded. I like to at least once every year when I'm out on my walks catch a nice sunset that I can record and put in my journal, because I freaking love the sunset. It's just a beautiful, magical time of the day. Next, okay, this was the 28th. Julia Cameron in her book has something called The Artist's Date, and I was out doing some other stuff, and I ended up at this place called the Crystal Garden. I actually forgot it was over in the area that I was in, so I figured, this is where I'll take myself on my artist date. I have been wanting some pieces of jade for a while, and I've been checking a lot of crystal shops and could not find any, and finally it hit me. I was like, I think this place is over there, maybe, and I found plenty of pieces, and I ended up here, and I ended up getting a piece of copper as well, so that was cool. I really don't like how I decorated these pages. Also, I kept seeing, like, it was ridiculous how many times I saw this phrase, don't worry, be happy, in different instances on people's videos, on Instagrams, people saying it. And then I was looking for something in my room, and I pulled something out from under my bed, and I had a box that said, don't worry. It was crazy. I don't like the way this looks, though, this lettered here. So what I'm going to do is eventually cover this up. And I found my actual receipt from where I went to Crystal Garden to. So I'm going to cover that up and put that there. And somewhere, just maybe scribble, don't worry, be happy, just so I can remember that. Because this looks a mess. I don't like it. Anyway, that's what was going on the 28th. On the 29th, again, I went out for my walk. And it must have been Nature Day or something, like, because they were following me. I was going up the hill on the sidewalk. And when I tell you, this deer just stepped right out on my path. Like, it startled me so bad. And they are so big up in person. And so I was like frozen for a minute. And then I was like, you need to take a picture. Of course, by the time I got my camera out to take the picture, the deer had already started across the street. So I didn't get good pictures of it. But it was such a magical moment. And we just stared at each other for a second. So I was like, oh, what is going on here? But yeah, but it was so cool. I don't think I've ever seen a deer up close before. And then also there was this bird that kept following me everywhere. And how I knew it was the same bird was because it had this weird, the way it was flying was really weird. It was almost like maybe one of its wings were broken or hurt. So it had like this really, really wonky flying pattern. And everywhere I went throughout the neighborhood, it's a big neighborhood, that bird was there. So I was like, okay, bird, I hope you get better, whatever's going on with you. I appreciate the guidance through the neighborhood. So yeah. So that's basically what was happening. And the sun had started setting here. It was only a little pink. So, moving on. Okay, and here is my June wrap-up, or my June favorites. As far as TV shows, my favorites would be Stranger Things. The first part of the 4th season was really good, so I was definitely looking forward to the wrap-up in July. And, of course, I've already talked about Peaky Blinders. Definitely a good show. I've been waiting for this show to air, the 5th season, for quite a while, I feel like. So I'm glad it finally came on, and I'm glad to know there will be a 2-hour movie to actually conclude the entire thing. And then, of course, the Umbrella Academy. Enjoy that show. I will say that even though I enjoyed the Umbrella Academy, the 3rd season was not nearly as good as the 1st and 2nd seasons. Like, I really, really enjoyed those, and this one was like, it was cool, but it was, I don't know. So I'm looking forward to the 4th season to see how everything goes. And I think the 4th season may be the last one. So we'll see about that. Anyway, my entire watch list was Stranger Things, Needle in a Time Stack, which was a recommendation from a friend, because we are both talking about like parallel lives and quantum jumping and jumping timelines and that kind of stuff, and that's basically what this movie was about, which was cool. And then The Secrets of Dumbledore, of course, The 24 Faces of Billy Milligan, The Wilds. That show is excellent. If you have not checked out The Wilds, good show, legendary, absolutely love it. I just heard that they canceled it, which makes me sad because it's such a good show. That one was on HBO Max. Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey. Absolute mess. I do not understand these culty things that people get themselves into, where basically the women are ridiculously subjugated, where you have these old ass gross men marrying children, literal children. It's just, ugh. And then like the older women just let this shit go on, and the older men, just no, no, okay. We got to do better. And then, of course, Peaky Blinders, Web of Make Believe, that was good. You Don't Know Me. You Don't Know Me was very interesting. Actually, and really enjoyed the show until the very end, because the ending leaves it up to the viewer, the interpretation of the viewer of how you want it to end, I guess. There's no clear-cut conclusion, and I don't like that. Just tell me what it is. Is he here or is he there? Did this happen or did that? I don't like that open-ended shit, okay? I don't like it. In some instances, it works. In this one, it did not. Billy the Kid, I watched it. I think that was Showtime or something. I can't remember the exact network it came on. But if I'm being honest, it was kind of boring. But I watched the entire thing, but it was kind of boring. So, and then Snowflake Mountain, that's on Netflix. It was okay. And then The Umbrella Academy. And then, of course, what I was listening to on repeat, again, this made my list again, which is I Die Without You by PM Dawn, a classic. I will always love this song. I will always revisit it, and I will always, at some instance or point, have it playing on repeat. This actually came to me in one of my dreams, so I try to pay attention when I get songs in my dreams, and so that's why I was listening to it on repeat this month. And this one also came to me in my dream, which is Miguel, Sure Thing, which is funny because it's not, to me, this song is not like this song. This is not something like I revisit often, like, oh, that song was really great, it's one of my favorites. No. So it's and I hadn't recently heard this song at all, so it was significant that it came to me in a dream. So that's why I was listening to it on repeat. Again, it's Miguel, Sure Thing. And then, of course, my books read for the month, my favorites was Lisa Kleypas with Devil in Disguise. That woman just has a way with words. Like, the way that she writes her books it's phenomenal. It's so lovely. Her wording, I don't know if I have the words to describe it. But I really appreciate her writing style. And then Harlan Coben, I have watched so many of his adaptations on Netflix, and I loved every single one of them. So it was finally time for me to actually pick up one of his books and read it, and I did. And it was called Fool Me Once, and it was really good, just as good as the adaptations. So those are my two favorites for the month. And my complete read list was It's All in Your Head by Russ, really quick read. The Jackal by J.R. Ward, I love her. Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jane Allen. To be honest, that book was just okay. And there are sequels to that, but I don't think I'll be picking them up and reading them. It just didn't hit me like that. The Devil in Disguise, Lisa Kleypas. The Office Party by Whitney G. That one was a little weird, and I think it was actually a novella. It was an okay story, but I feel like there was background information that I was missing, and so it just didn't feel complete to me. So yeah. And then, of course, Fool Me Once by Harlan Coben. So that is my wrap up for June. If you guys have any comments or questions about anything, please leave those below. If you enjoyed this content, then please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. I trust that everyone has been safe and well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.